This program is brought to you by Medical City, the Neely School of Business at TCU, and Community Trust Bank. Welcome to Platforms, the life-lifting news program for women. Now, here's your host, Siobhan Palmer.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Platforms. I'm your host, Siobhan Palmer. We're continuing our conversation today with the legendary actress, Ruta Lee. Ruta, I know that a cause that's near and dear to your heart is the Thalians Ball. And what I really appreciate about this is to help people with mental illness, which, as you well know, there's still so much stigma associated with this. So tell us how you got involved with this whole endeavor.
Well, 55 years ago, a group of young Hollywood actors and people in allied fields decided that they were tired of being called pot-smoking, sex-minded idiots who contributed nothing to the world, and that they would do something about it. And they shopped around. They said, we get together to have parties and things. Why don't we sell tickets to some of these parties and raise some money for a good cause? They shopped around, and it's funny. They sent out Darling Jane Mansfield to find a good disease, right? To support.
Jane was tasked to go find.
Exactly. And she came back and she said, all the good diseases are gone. But let me tell you what I found. I found a place that deals with emotionally disturbed children. And one rotten kid in a community is like a rotten apple in a barrel. It infects the whole thing. And we can do something about it early on. So, the Thalians was born, and Thalia, of course, is one of the muses, and she was also the one that took care of the stray lambs. So that seemed like an appropriate name. The Thalians was born, and we immediately went into helping emotionally disturbed children. 18 years later, we built the first clinic, the first building at the Cedars-Sinai complex, and it's the Thalians Mental Health Center. And so for 55 years, we have been shining a light into that black closet that mental disease has been relegated to. And nobody ever wanted to talk about mental disease. And yet mental disease, mental illness, affects more of us in this world than every other disease combined.
That is, could you say that again?
It's a staggering statistic.
Yeah, people have no concept of,
Because it affects everybody. It doesn't just affect the one who has schizophrenia, it affects the persons they live with, the ones they deal with, everything around them. So more people are affected by mental illness than all diseases combined.
Yeah, staggering statistics. And just from an economic standpoint,
oh my God,
it's devastating to business and so forth.
It is. So how did we raise the money for this, to build a clinic and do all of this? We did what we do. Actors and singers and dancers are the only people in an industry where you give it away for something good. And we do. I mean,
you've raised $30 million, you and Debbie Reynolds.
Yes.
You're the current chairman of the...
Chairman, and Debbie is the president. We switch roles every once in a while, but it's been this way for a long time now.
Remarkable.
And we do a great big event every year. Well, we do several events, but the major fundraising event is the Thalians Ball, and which honors a celebrity from film or stage who is known not just for the joy they've brought through their performances, but from the joy that they've brought through their philanthropic efforts as well. And we've honored everybody. We've honored Frank, we've honored Lucy, we've honored Carol, we've honored Angela, we've honored Whoopi, we've honored everybody. Lana Turner, Jane Wyman, Clint Eastwood, just recently, my dreamboat. And of course, the one and only Mickey Rooney was our last honoree. Well, this event coming up, we're changing the venue from a hotel where we've always done this, and we're going to have a big, fat, gorgeous party at the Playboy Mansion.
For the 2010 Thalian Ball.
Right.
Wow.
2011,
2011,
actually,
excuse me,
it'll be,
okay.
2011. And our honoree, of course, he will be surrounded by the biggest stars in the world, will be Hugh Hefner. Not because he introduced us to large gazongas, but because he is one of the most philanthropic people, and we don't hear much about that.
No, you don't.
He's given a great deal of money to a great many causes. But here's the part that is so exciting about this year's event, and that is that while we are staying in mental health, all of our proceeds are going to go to UCLA's Operation Mend, which deals with the returning wounded warriors in body, and we're taking over, and in mind and spirit.
Phenomenal.
So, you know, they can have their arms repaired or their legs or their faces rebuilt, but we're concerned with rebuilding the mind and the heart and the spirit.
That is remarkable.
And so all of the proceeds are now going to that particular thing.
That is remarkable. Ruta, I know that you've traveled all over this world and you've met remarkable people. Who is the one person that you think has had the greatest impact on your life? And I know that's a difficult question because so many people, but if you had to single it down to one or two people.
Well, of course, automatically I would say that if my mother had not had a dream for me, it would not have happened. So that was a major impact. Frank Sinatra had a big impact in another way, in allowing me to mix and mingle with the literati of Hollywood, let's say. Billy Graham, believe it or not, had an impact simply because he was so erudite, but however, it was a common level that he communicated on that I thought was very interesting. Gosh, who do I love? Everybody.
That's phenomenal. And also, I want to talk before we wrap today, because you're here in Fort Worth, Texas, and you're going to be performing in Best Little Whorehouse. I think it opens on October 23rd and then runs through the 31st. Okay.
And the 31st, oh, people, come to the 31st if you can, because that's the one where you're supposed to come as one of the ladies of the evening.
Oh, right.
Remember, it's Halloween, and so it's a perfect party. So it's a pimps and hoes party. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun?
And you've had a love affair. This town has been in love with you. You've been coming to do Casa Mañana for how many years now?
30, close to 40 years.
Wow.
40 years of friendship and joy. And I absolutely love Texas audiences, especially my home in Fort Worth, because Texas audiences do not defy you to entertain them. They come in with a loving spirit of,
open.
Hey y'all, we're going to have a good time.
That's right. That's right.
You know, which is really wonderful. And of course, Whorehouse, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which is a real live story, in spite of its title, is really one of the most moral pieces I've ever played in.
Interesting.
And it has a very interesting message because it shows how two-faced humanity can be. That what we say is not necessarily what is in our hearts. And I love the fact that it does it in a sly, kind of funny, wonderful, bawdy way, where the laughter, which is my favorite music. I love the sound of laughter. And boy, do we have plenty of it in Best Little Whorehouse. And I do hope you'll come. And then, you know, come either backstage or come meet me in the cantina and we'll have a drink or 10.
Well, Ruta Lee, it was an absolute honor you having on this program.
Siobhan, how nice of you to share your beautiful audience with me. And may I wish each and every one of you the best of life. Go vote, whatever you do.
Yep.
And vote for the right people. I'm saying let's throw all the trash out.
Gotcha.
On November
this lady.
2nd.
You bet.
Get rid of the trash.
I hear you, sister.
Oh boy, and may God just keep smiling on each and every one of you. I love you.
Miss Ruta Lee, ladies and gentlemen, and if you want to get more information, she's got a wonderful website, very easy, rutalee.com. This is Siobhan Palmer with Platforms, the life-lifting news program for women. Thank you, folks, and we'll see you next week.